and I had your attention. You're all dismissed.
Bankrupt.
Better luck with your next job.
Not every great movie gets the love it deserves on day one. Some were told bye, Felicia, before they even get a chance to shine. In this episode of Second Shot Cinema, we're counting down the top 10 movies that went from flops to fan favorites. So, grab some popcorn and stick around to see if your favorite comeback classic made the list. This cult classic didn't just stumble out of the gate, it practically face-planted. Critics were baffled by its campy blend of musical numbers, bizarre characters, and absurd plot. But then midnight screenings happened, and suddenly, everyone was throwing toast, shouting,
"Damn it, Janet, I love you,"
and doing the time warp. Today, Rocky Horror is less of a movie and more of a cultural event. Don't dream it, be it. Hocus Pocus may be a Halloween staple now, but back in 1993, it was deemed too goofy and over the top. Critics didn't know what to make of Bette Midler's Diva Sanderson sister energy, and audiences barely showed up. But thanks to annual TV airings and a generation of fans who grew up quoting every line, Hocus Pocus has become a Halloween tradition. Talk about putting a spell on us. Is it a Halloween movie? A Christmas movie? Back in 1993, even Disney didn't know how to market it. Critics were split on this stop-motion marvel. Too dark for kids, too weird for adults.
I think he might be too big! No, he's not. If he can go down a chimney, he can fit down here!
But fans saw its magic and embraced Jack Skellington's journey to find himself. Decades later, The Nightmare Before Christmas owns the title of ultimate holiday crossover hit. Sorry, Santa and Jack-o'-lanterns. Jack Skellington has this one in the bag. Next up, The Big Lebowski. The ultimate example of a movie that took its sweet time to roll into classic status. When it first came out, critics were baffled by its oddball humor and meandering plot, and audiences took a pass on it. But over the years, the dude and his laid-back attitude became a cultural icon, from its endlessly quotable dialogue to its bizarre cast of characters. This Coen Brothers gem has inspired everything from fan conventions to literal religions. The dude abides, and so do we. Somewhere Over the Rainbow is a movie that critics originally thought was just too much. Too colorful, too fantastical, too Technicolor. While it didn't make much of a splash at the box office, Dorothy, Toto, and the gang found a second life on television. Now, The Wizard of Oz is one of the most beloved films of all time, with its iconic songs and timeless message about home. There's no place like it, really. When Clue hit theaters, critics didn't have a clue about the murder mystery. Slapstick? Multiple endings? This movie was definitely ahead of its time, but VHS and cable gave it a second chance, and audiences fell in love with its quirky humor and endlessly quotable lines. Today, it's a cult classic that fans watch again and again and again, just to see all the endings. When this movie hit theaters, critics were left scratching their heads. Was it an action flick? A comedy? A fantasy epic? The answer, all of the above. Big Trouble in Little China was everything the mid-'80s didn't know it needed. With martial arts action, mystical villains, and Kurt Russell at his campy best, it's pure, unapologetic fun. Over the years, Big Trouble gained a loyal following, and now it's celebrated as one of Carpenter's most rewatchable films, hailed as a cult classic, and a wild ride that never takes itself too seriously. Dear Diary, Heathers was way too dark for its time. Critics thought it was far too edgy for a high school movie, and audiences didn't quite know what to make of its pitch-black humor and unflinching look at teenage cliques. But what others saw as shock factor, fans eventually recognized as brilliance. With its biting satire of popularity, peer pressure, and even mental health, Heathers didn't just parody the high school experience. It held a mirror up to its darkest corners and forced us to look. The film's razor-sharp dialogue gave us some of the most quotable lines in teen movie history ever. And its stylized aesthetic made it an influence on everything from TV shows to future films. And let's not forget about its cultural legacy. How many teen movies do you know that got turned into a hit Broadway musical? Heathers has earned its place as a cultural touchstone and a must-watch for anyone who likes their high school drama served with a side of explosive satire. How very. Here's Johnny. It's mind-blowing how The Shining wasn't embraced as a masterpiece from day one. When Stanley Kubrick's take on Stephen King's novel hit theaters, critics were divided. Some called it too slow and clinical, while others complained it strayed too far from the source material. Even King himself famously disliked it. But over time, The Shining revealed its true brilliance. The film's eerie, methodical pacing draws viewers into the Overlook Hotel's suffocating isolation, making the descent into madness feel disturbingly real. Jack Nicholson's unforgettable performance as Jack Torrance practically redefined horror villains, while Shelley Duvall's raw, emotional portrayal turned terror into an art form. Combine that with Kubrick's haunting visuals, the blood-soaked elevators, the twins in the hallway, the hedge maze, and it's no wonder The Shining became one of the most analyzed and celebrated films of all time. Its themes of isolation, madness, and the supernatural resonate as deeply today as they did decades ago, and its legacy continues to inspire everything from pop culture references to horror filmmakers. With The Shining, Kubrick didn't just make a movie, he created a cinematic experience that stays with you long after the credits roll. Before we unveil our number one pick, let's shine a spotlight on a few films that didn't quite make the cut, but definitely deserve some love. Office Space, a workplace comedy that flopped in theaters but became the anthem of 9-to-5 frustration. Smash that printer, you've earned it. Star Wars, A New Hope, not just a movie, it's a master Jedi, proving that even the doubters couldn't stop the Force. The Princess Bride, a story of true love that proved it was only a matter of time before everyone said,
As you wish.
it's cool.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
It's chaotic.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother.
It's Pulp Fiction. When Quentin Tarantino's crime saga first premiered, it left audiences and critics divided. Some hailed it as revolutionary, while others thought its non-linear storytelling and stylized violence were just plain self-indulgent. But over time, the film's brilliance became impossible to ignore. With razor-sharp dialogue, dark humor, and unforgettable characters, Pulp Fiction didn't just redefine cinema, it rewrote the rules entirely. At its heart, this film is a tapestry of seemingly unrelated stories. Hitmen chatting on about fast food, a mob boss's wife wanting to be an actress, a boxer refusing to take a dive, that come together in surprising, satisfying ways. Tarantino's non-linear structure keeps you guessing, while his knack for snappy dialogue gives us lines that are now etched into pop culture history.
And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
We're still quoting it decades later. And let's not forget its awesome soundtrack: surf rock, soul, pop. The grooves elevated every scene and left audiences humming long after the credits rolled. Pulp Fiction didn't just inspire filmmakers, it became a cultural moment. From countless parodies to its influence on indie cinema, the film proved that bold, innovative storytelling could be both artistic and wildly entertaining.
Die, you mother!
Love it or hate it, there's no denying that Tarantino's masterpiece is as cool as it is timeless. That is cinema. Sometimes, the best things in life take a little time to be appreciated. Did your favorite comeback classic make the list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more second chances at cinematic greatness.